So, Bobbie, welcome to this thing that I really need to name and still haven't. Um, this
It's
is
so
a thing
lovely to
where
be
we
here.
find awesome women on the internet and we ask them some questions and talk about the current state of magic and the current state of being part of magic in a more public, in a public idea or on the internet, etc. Can you
Yeah.
introduce yourself and tell me kind of how long you've been playing Magic?
Yes, my name is Bobbie-Christine. I'm part of Team TCC, Team Decked Out, Team Lobby-Pristine, Team Pendragon, and Team Magikids. All different little groups in Magic the Gathering that I'm honored to be a part of. And I started playing Magic in earnest in 2007 with the release of Lorwyn. And I started being a public facing figure slash content creator slash writer slash personality in 2020 when the pandemic started.
Nice, nice. So actually, so Lorwyn, this is like a return to your roots.
Yeah, like it absolutely is, and I'm like so excited for the return to Lorwyn that I've been dodging as many spoilers as I can because I want as close to that original experience as possible, which means experiencing the cards for the first time as much as I can, like in front of me as I'm opening the packs and like have the product in front of me.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great way to experience it, right?
Dodging
Sometimes
spoilers is
the
a nightmare,
spoilers.
though. It's like impossible.
Well, sometimes the spoilers don't matter, right? Where it's like I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy the thing anyway. I would rather be discover a draft, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I sold a ton of cards like specifically to get my hands on some Lorwyn.
what drew you to Magic in the first place?
I have always been naturally nerd inclined. I remember growing up, my biological dad had like old cards from like Apocalypse lying around. I remember seeing like Avatar of Might was probably the first card in my memory. But of course I wasn't, playing at that point. But then when 2007 came around, an uncle of mine had a like a cardboard box full of unsorted Lorwyn block chaff, just a whole box full of cards. He was like, he doesn't want them anymore, and he gave them to me. And then I got pretty locked in. I was just like, oh, this is the coolest thing. I've became naturally just hooked on it, and like most Magic players, like have had like chapters from then on out. Like a big chapter for me was Return to Ravnica.
Yeah, good set, good set.
But yeah, it was just easy to lock in, and almost definitely because of like the art.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like as a kid, that box of draft chaff is just so magical. It's like, you mean I can have these?
Yeah, 100%. There was a Risk the Redeemed in there. I was like, this one's rare. Are you sure I can have a rare card?
I still have every rare I own in a binder. Like I have binders full of rares, and so, most of them are just not worth anything. But to this day,
That's so
that's how I
impressive.
keep stuff.
That's so impressive. Like you've managed to hold on to your collection for so long. Like that's incredible.
Well, I've like anyone who's played long enough, I've sold it a couple times, right? I had some old stuff that I had kept, right? But I've had my collection now since about, I guess, 2015. Oath of Guild Pact, was it? Or something like that. Early Kaladesh, kind of something like that. And so I've had it since then. That was when I got back into the game from one of my bouts of not playing, right?
Yeah, back into it. That's like it comes in little phases, right?
Yeah.
But I've
We
seen
sell our
your
cards and then regret it, right?
yeah. I've seen your shorts where you like pull out cards from this unsleeved deck, and some of them are very, very, very old. And I assumed that those were like yours from back in the day. Is that the case?
A lot of them are. So some of them I've traded for. Actually, some of the story behind that goes, I bought Dogecoin in 2012.
Okay. Interesting.
And I had them forever. Like we just used to tip back and forth, like just online, just stupid. Like someone makes a funny joke and like, here's 5,000 Dogecoin, which is like, at this point, like, here's a funny joke. Here's 500 euro. You know.
Oh my god, that's wild.
But I bought them for 4/10,000ths of a cent each, and then
Wow.
it's funded 3 major surgeries of mine and got me
Get out of here.
like the deck and lots of cards that don't go on stream, like some more collectible type cards. But I couldn't sell them at all, and I finally found someone I could trade with, and I got a lot of poor condition cards, and so that's where a chunk of it came from as well.
That's fascinating. I would never have guessed it was by the grace of Dogecoin. That's amazing. That's so interesting.
Yeah, you know, it was nothing that was ever approached as an investment. It was just like stupid bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just had them forever.
Wow, that's really cool.
So what brought you into some of the more public aspects, like some of the more charitable type of things? I know I don't know what Magikids is. I'm curious. I know you're also part of, if I recall, Birds of Paradise.
To kind of start, the pandemic came around, and I was working at a warehouse at UPS, and they said we were essential workers, and they didn't make us feel very essential. And so I discovered Twitch at the same time, and I followed this streamer named Leela, and she was doing the streaming thing, and I was like, this is like a thing, like why would people like sit and just like watch someone play games? And then next thing you know, I'm like sitting there watching her play games.
Of course.
And so I was like, so this is, I have the freedom and kind of the privilege, not like extraordinarily like privileged. I'm not in a wealthy kind of way, but privileged in that I had friends and family that like took care of me and put a roof over my head. So I was like, well, this is something I could try, so I'm gonna try it. And I started streaming Hearthstone because I've played Hearthstone since like 2 years after it came out. I've been playing Hearthstone for a long time, and that naturally evolved. And I was like, well, I love Magic the Gathering, and I discovered Spelltable, and I discovered that streaming like Spelltable Commander was a thing at that time. It was groups that like aren't even around anymore. One of them was, what were they called? This Elder. Oh man, I wish I remembered. Dang, it was like one of the old school ones. They haven't been around for a long time. But it was this guy named Jacob, and I was like, oh, you can do this. And so I copy pasted, and I started streaming Spelltable Commander, and I was really good at it. I felt like I could cultivate like really good pods. Like I could invite the right people to the right play groups, and I could like know what good energies are going to match and create really good games. And I did that for a long time, and I streamed like over 100 episodes of what I called Spell Fables, because it was Spelltable, and I was being precious.
It's good.
And I nailed it. And that honestly, the Twitch stream I don't think it's like this today, but in 2021, 2022, a Twitch stream was a little more prevalent. Twitch itself was like more prevalent, and so it was enough for me to get eyeballs on me. And also back then, Twitter was different, and it was like a viable like socializing platform. So I built my following on Twitch and Twitter, and I, at a certain point I discovered like Rebel Lily, and I discovered like Shivam, these other community namestays, and I'd invite them to come play. I was like, you want to come play on my Spelltable game? And they came to play with me, and they had a great time. At one point I invited Ben Brode, who is a developer for Hearthstone and a developer for Marvel Snap, and I invited him to play, and he totally came on my stream and played, and it was awesome. Freaking cool. And so the stream was popping off,
Mhm.
And it's just been this nice little journey. At one point I had a podcast called Check Your Bulk, where you got to check your bulk. We took that phrase and ran with it, and the podcast lasted like 6 months or so. And from the podcast I got noticed by the professor from Tolarian Community College. And from there, he reached out and was looking for a writer. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. Yes. So he took me on as like a not like a full-time writer, but like on like a gig kind of basis.
Mhm.
And I ended up writing 25 episodes of Tolarian Community College for Brian. And at this point, it's interesting because like I don't know, content like today is like you gotta like pump out content. You gotta like make the shorts and put out videos, weekly videos, daily videos, put it out,
Mhm.
talking head, just like you gotta pump it out. And back then I would just like stream like maybe twice a week. And I really built everything I built by just doing it in a way I can't recommend other people do it. Like I was just building community. I was just making connections. And luckily, I was a decent writer too, so that helped with that part of
It
it.
helps. Yeah.
But then the thing that also kind of put me higher into the stratosphere of the zeitgeist of online Magic the Gathering niche was I was a natural community builder because I grew up playing MMORPGs, and in MMOs you have guilds,
Mhm.
and I was always like a guild leader.
Which
So
MMO did you play?
I played City of Heroes,
Okay.
my fair share of World of Warcraft, but I was a City of Heroes girl, 100%.
Nice. I was always a Guild
So
Wars girl. That was nice.
Guild Wars, nice.
Yeah.
NC Soft, they're like sister MMOs.
Exactly.
So I took that experience as like a guild leader, and I was like, I'm gonna apply this to Magic Gathering. And so I created two organizations. Well, okay. One of them is organization in quote. One of them's a Discord called the Bobbie-Christine, which was my Discord until I expanded it. And I realized like there was a bunch of Commander streamers. I'm yapping at this point. Hope that's okay.
No, it's great. It's great. I asked a
I haven't
pretty
like
open question.
Yeah, I just
Love it.
haven't
I
like
love it.
thought down this history in a while, and it's
Mhm.
interesting to think of like how much kind of was going on there. So I had my Discord, Bobbie-Christine, Lobby-Christine. It was the Lobby-Christine, and then I realized there were a bunch of other EDH Commander streams. And every time you'd go to play on one or guest on one, they'd be like, come join my Discord, come join my Discord, come join my Discord. Next thing you know, you got to just like all these Discords to keep up with. And I was like,
A
we all
problem we
realize
have to
this
this
is
day.
right. But the Commander streams in particular, like we all shared the same audience. In a like genuine way. There was a lot of crossover. So I was like, we're doing ourselves a disservice by splitting our audience across all of these servers. So I invited other content creators to come join the Bobbie-Christine. And so, and a bunch of them did. And right now there's like over 10 creators in the Bobbie-Christine. So that if you're looking for Commander pods, Commander gameplay, Commander content, you just can go to the one server and get like multiple creators.
Nice.
And so that's one of the groups that I founded. And the other was the Birds of Paradise, and the Birds of Paradise is an organization dedicated to highlighting marginalized voices in Magic the Gathering. And I just started recruiting like a guild. And it started as a small group chat. It started as a group chat of 7 girls because I was just like, I want to have a group chat. I was jealous of other people's group chats, and I was like, I'll make my own group chat. And the 7 of us, one day we were like, we should call ourselves something. So we call ourselves the Birds of Paradise. That's what we ended up going with. And that just naturally evolved over the next few years into becoming something. We took the name and made it something where events would be looking for groups to come to their events, and they invited us. Our first event was like, I think in 2021 was Command Fest Bellevue, was our first official like event as a group, and I think it was still just like the 7 of us at that point. And that just naturally evolved and evolved and evolved, and yeah, and it became bigger and bigger and bigger, and I invited more people to come be a part of Birds of Paradise, and like being a member of Birds of Paradise became like a thing that people like strived to do, and
That's
so
awesome.
that was amazing. And it's just there's so much history, and it's hard to like pinpoint like kind of what I've done when it's just been this like spattering of all kinds of different stuff that I've done.
It's cool to see your kind of like your influences, but also your influence on the community over the years. And as you've like, the difference between like being pulled in and then the actual community building and things like that. So you mentioned Magikids. What is Magikids?
Magikids, I don't remember the exact origin, but I think at some point they reached out to me because they need volunteers. Magikids is a educational nonprofit, and what they do is they take donated Magic the Gathering bulk.
Lorwyn draft chef.
Exactly, and they just take all of that and they put it into these kits, and they send the kits out for free to after school programs, boys and girls clubs, any kind of place that wants to start a magic club for any reason, they'll send it to. So they've even sent it to like prisons, like to get,
Nice.
All kinds of reasons to have a club of that sort. But the kind of purpose is to use Magic the Gathering as an educational tool, which like through studies they have found is just an excellent educational tool. And so they'll show up to events and they'll teach people how to play Magic the Gathering, and they'll let people know about these kits that they send to after school clubs and all that kind of thing. And they reached out to me one day because they were looking for volunteers, and they were looking for volunteers who like had some kind of like sway in the community. They're like, we need faces, right? And so I was just kind of like a great pick for them, and they were like, get that Bobbie-Christine girl, and they got me. And that's when I did my first event with Magikids. I learned that I love teaching Magic the Gathering. So that's to this day I work with Magikids. I'll be working with Magikids for MagicCon Vegas coming up here in a few months.
Nice.
And that's just like my favorite thing to do, is to go to a convention and to teach people how to play Magic the Gathering.
That's cool. Like I know people that have done that, like teachers that have done that on a smaller scale. It's super cool to see it as an organizational side.
It's so sick. I love them, and I want to work with them as long as they'll have me.
Fair enough. You said that TCC noticed you, and you became a writer for them. Were you a writer before that? Like, did you have experience, or did you just find yourself being good at it?
It's the latter. Right? I have no like higher education honestly whatsoever. I just would write like poems and I just felt like I'm like good at words. And so my experience was just kind of feeling like I was naturally good with words, and I was like, I think I'm just like good at this. And I wrote my first script for Brian, and I was like, damn, I am pretty good at this. That's, I don't know, I don't want to sound cocky, but I really
so
just kind of went for it, and it worked out.
That's awesome.
I'm a great editor too. I'll take someone else's work and I'll be like, this, you got to change the way this sounds.
Good at constructive feedback, right?
Yes.
Amongst the stuff that you've done and the kind of, I guess, the communities both you've been involved with, both physically and online, how has it been over the years being a woman playing Magic? Like, it's obviously a very male-dominated hobby generally.
Yeah.
And I know it's interesting because I've asked this question to multiple people at this point, and it seems to be it's very, very different depending on where people are from. And I've noticed it judging as well, where it's like if I'm judging in the UK or Italy, it is a very different world, right?
Yeah.
So what have your experiences been like being a woman in Magic?
I think I've been pretty lucky in that regard. I am trans, so I did. I'm 33 now, and I was the way I view it is I was basically a male for 23 years, and so there was not those sort of typical hurdles that women face in game stores, which I, upon transitioning, got to experience, which was fascinating. Like when I transitioned and like started wearing lipstick and went into game stores, I remember I went in with a friend of mine one time, and I was the one shopping for cards. My buddy was just like there, just like hanging out with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in and I was like talking to the store clerk, and I was like trying to get this guy to like sell me cards and to like tell me what was like available. And he would like talk like it was the weirdest thing I had never experienced before, but he like talked like straight through me and like talked like at my friend, and I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm like, well, I'm talking to you, what is going on? It's crazy. So I didn't experience any that sort of like discrimination until I transitioned, and even then I did not experience very much of it because I created my own playgroups. I pretty much did not go to game stores to play Magic because I always had a group of friends who wanted to play Magic with me. So there was no game store. There was just my kitchen table. There was just like me having all my friends over and we're going to play Magic the Gathering. And that's just how it was done. So I didn't go into the public sphere. I didn't experience the things that like female competitors definitely experience, from other opponents, from I didn't get that like, oh, your boyfriend build your deck, which is typical but is just common. Like kind of discrimination and that kind of prejudice is super duper duper common. And I'm just lucky that I've always had a group of friends to play with, so I never really experienced it. And even when I got into content and into the community side of Magic, I didn't experience that either because I just made my own. I made Birds of Paradise.
That's
so
fair.
that even then I cultivated and pretty much right off the bat had this safe space, this group of awesome women to play with. So I was like, well, why would I go out into the LGS, Wild West? I just don't have to.
Yeah,
so
fair. So you play?
I've been lucky.
You play mostly Commander, or you play exclusively Commander?
I not exclusively Commander, but like Commander and Commander variants. I'm very much a Commander player, but I have Oathbreaker decks and Pendragon decks, and Oathbreaker and Pendragon are like, Commander alternatives basically.
I liked Oathbreaker. I wish that it had become a thing. I think it was a cool idea.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Magikids weird cards, Magikids by Weird Cards, they made Oathbreaker.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Oathbreaker became an official format, like on Wizards of the Coast's like online webpage. If you look at all the different formats you can play on the Wizards website, Oathbreaker's right there.
It's true. I think that might have been only when I heard about it, and it was super cool, and I was trying to get people to play, and then no one played, and so we just
I
didn't
have two
play.
Oathbreaker decks, and I always will have two Oathbreaker decks on me. So if you want to play some Oathbreaker, I'm super down.
That's rad. That'll probably be Spelltable. We'll see if we can. I would love to hang out in person one day, but maybe I'll throw together an Oathbreaker deck.
That'd be amazing. I gotta find a way to leave the country. I gotta leave America at some point. I can't. I'd love to leave the country someday.
If you leave the country, come to Berlin. I feel like either way, that's more likely than me going. ending up on the West Coast.
That's completely fair. Are you close enough to do like MagicCon Amsterdam? I feel like that's one of the few overseas ones they do.
Yeah, I'll do Amsterdam. I judge a lot, and like I
Yeah.
just got back from France for Spotlight Lyon, and then the next big thing I think I'm doing is Four Seasons in Italy, and then RC Turin. And then there's a bunch of stuff, like I think there's London, and then there's Amsterdam after that. And Amsterdam will be the first time, hopefully I get to judge. I'm going to apply. I have recommendations, things like that.
Oh,
But hopefully I'll judge
so
Magic
badass.
on Amsterdam, and that'll be like the biggest event I've judged, so that'll be way cool. I'm excited.
That's so exciting. Oh my god, I'm pulling for you. If I am to leave the country, I feel like the most I would do it for MagicCon Amsterdam, and then
It's fair. Magic
get some
Con
games
is
in,
the most
hopefully.
likely scenario.
yeah, pretty much.
Because we had Magic on Amsterdam, what was it, 2024? Was the last Magic Con here.
hmm
And so I went to that. That was kind of my origin story as a creator.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing other things, but this is where the Moth Girl comes from. I won a tournament. There was we had a 4-card modern tournament. The Card Market crew. And it was just like, this is announced at this time. Everyone has 20 minutes to build a deck. You're allowed to have 4 cards in your hand and no library. You don't die from decking, but you need land.
What the hell?
And so it's just, the concept was you need to play your card. You need to play your deck, and you have 4 cards. And the winner. It's basically single elimination tournament. It was like 30 people, 35 people. And so there was a lot of like land, Thassa's Oracle. There was a lot of like a Pact of Negation, a lot of what is the one that you reveal it from your hand and the first spell costs 1 more? It's like a big white creature or whatever. Anyway, my deck was Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter, and Inkmoth Nexus.
Oh my god.
And so there was no, people thought seized me. I was like, I don't care. I don't care, whatever. Like, I'll play a
They're all
land, like, I'll
lands.
destroy it. Okay, I'll play a land, I'll destroy it. And people had, like,
wow.
because, I'm a Death and Taxes player at heart, right? Like, this is 60 card Death and Taxes. So, I was
gonna ask where Moth Girl came from.
Yeah,
actually, I was like planning. I was so curious.
It was the Inkmoth Nexus there, and this is why I have this actually tattooed right here.
Oh my god!
And it's
so
also
badass.
it's the only modern bordered card in the Commander deck, in my old deck, because this is just
really?
my card. I can't not have it.
That's so iconic. Oh my god!
And I actually,
that's so cool.
do you know Shivan, an artist from Italy? She's in a lot.
I don't think so.
She's in a lot of events in Europe, whatever. She's a friend of mine. She's awesome. I was talking to her, and she had offered to alter my card to be retro bordered, right? But if everything's being shuffled without sleeves, I was afraid it was just going to just destroy all the other cards.
100%. Oh.
But so I kind of want one just for the framing, like just to put it up and get it altered anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, take them up on that, and then don't just put it in another deck. That sounds so cool.
Shivan's actually been doing very well. Like she painted the official token for the for the RCs, like this amazing cat token, and yeah.
Damn. I'm curious on clarity. This format was the modern card pool, but you pick 4 cards and that's like your whole deck?
Yes.
Interesting.
You start with them in your hand.
It's your deck and your hand.
Yeah. You start with no deck, but you can't die from decking, and you have no deck. So of course a lot of people played Thassa's Oracle.
Of course.
Right. But if they island and then Cavern of Souls and cast it, and if that's their plan, then those just get destroyed. by its strip mine.
Well, how did you get around the Thassa's?
Because they can't cast it. They need 2 mana, and I have a handful
Of course.
of Ghost Quarter.
Okay. The Ghost Quarter destroys Lance.
Yeah, it's just tap, destroy any land, and then they search their library for a basic, but they don't have a library.
Oh my god.
It was actually a cool moment for
That's
us.
so cool.
So we have a team that plays competitively. And actually this time it's almost a team of judges. Like a bunch of us have just become judges. But it was a cool moment because we got this challenge and everyone runs off and they're trying to think whatever. And 4 of us sat down and we're like, what are we doing? What cards do we have on us? We need 4 ideas amongst us, right? And so we were kind of, it was a cool team building moment.
This is for this format.
Yeah, this is exactly like we sat down and had like this kind of team building format of like, we need right now. It doesn't matter who's going to play which, but who has an idea. We need 4 decks to figure out. Right. And I think, and so it was this different, like a couple was Grief was still legal. So the kind of scam Grief with a black card with a swamp and the scammy Not Dead After All or whatever the card is called. The thing that brings it back anyway, right?
Right.
Dangerous thing, but it doesn't matter if they have no mana. So it's
Oh my god. I imagine turn order is huge in this format.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't have a lot of replayability. One of the beautiful things was that it took everyone off guard and they had to figure it out. Right? Like it is a solvable format.
Yeah.
But what really made it great was it was just thinking on your feet that you didn't know what to expect and this is what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm just
I'll send you the video afterward. It's pretty good.
Okay, that's what I want to see because I'm like, okay, so you like play the Ghost Quarter and then you pass and then they take their turn and then they play the land and then you blow the land. I'm just trying to think because I gotta watch the video. I'm so fascinated.
Because it was also just like a bunch of like if they get out a Mem Knight or some 1/1, it's like who cares? Because my 1/1 in the Inkmoth has Infect. So it's a 10 turn clock instead of a 20 turn clock.
Did you have to play out the attack? Like, okay, then attack, and then you have 1 Infect, and then
no,
pass.
Most of the time it was just like, that's game. Because, we both, there's such a limited, like, we only have 4 cards. Like, clearly, it's over, right?
Okay. Please send me the bot.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So, generally speaking, how do you feel? I'm curious, especially having played for a while, how do you feel about Universes Beyond? But I also mean much more in the... I've heard multiple sides. Like, there's a lot of the older Magic players, like myself. Like, I don't like the fact that it's non-Magic, whatever. But I absolutely concede the fact that it is bringing people into the game.
Yeah.
And so I'd be curious to hear kind of your thoughts on it and its effect on the game itself and like the community of the game.
Yeah, I've said I've kind of said it in a few ways over I've said before, like, I'm a little bit part of the problem. The first Universes Beyond was The Walking Dead, which looking back, what a weird like start. But I bought 3 The Walking Dead Secret Layers.
Oh, nice though. Yeah.
I still watch the spin-offs. I've been a Walking Dead fan since there's been the TV show. And I love Negan, and I had to have that Negan card, and I at a certain point was collecting Walker tokens.
Nice.
So they got me from day one, and I love what they can do with Universes Beyond. A thing that makes me love Universes Beyond, aside from them getting me day one, was like I don't care about Warhammer 40K.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna be a Warhammer player. You know, never say never, whatever. But I mean, I just, I'm not like a figure girl. I'm not a painting girl. I'm just don't care about Warhammer 40K.
That's fair.
But those decks, fucking, sorry. Can I say, yeah, those decks
Absolutely.
fucking slap. Those decks are amazing. They're
Yeah,
like some
for
of the
real.
best commander decks of all time. And one of my commanders right now is Bellacore from the Warhammer decks, and I've altered him to be Ganondorf. I got a mod fly alter, so it's my Ganondorf deck. But
Nice.
still, it came from the Warhammer decks, and that mono black Necron, mono black artifacts, so badass, just so good. So
Yeah.
they've done it in a way where I don't think you have to be a fan if done right, and if like all the stars align. When a Universe Beyond hits right, you don't have to be a fan of that property to be like, this is good magic right here. I think they nailed it with Avatar. They nailed it with Lord of the Rings, obviously. Final Fantasy. Like everyone's like, oh, that's the set of the year. Final Fantasy is the set of the year,
Yeah.
which I agree. But there does come like a point where I'm just like, how many Marvel sets are we getting? It's not just the one. Are you telling me there's like more? We're gonna have like 4 Marvel sets? Like, what is now? There is kind of a line where I'm just like, it's similar to that feeling where you've eaten like really dense chocolate and you've eaten it and eaten it and eaten it. At a certain point, you're like, this. At one point, this was delectable and I was having a great time, but and now at this point, it's a little bit nauseating.
Yeah. Fair.
But
I think it's
that line is
Marvel.
different for people.
Like, what is it? 2018? Like, we're done with Marvel, right? I mean, Marvel's great, but it had its time in the as the top of culture. I feel like that's where top of culture is the wrong way to put it, but you know, there's this big pop culture moment, and I feel like they might have planned it then, and it took years to get there, and it was like, well, oh, whatever.
I think Endgame was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And Endgame, like half a decade ago, was that point where it's like, all right, I'm full. Like, I enjoyed it. It was a good time. That movie kicked ass. I might come back and see it again, but I'm full on Marvel. And that was like a cultural thing. Like everyone felt full on Marvel. You had to be a serious diehard. But now it's like gonna be magic. And I'm not very excited about it. Most people I talk to are not that excited about it. I talk to diehard Star Trek fans who just like they're the target demographic, and they're like, I don't really care about Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't know who that's supposed to be for. Because like I wouldn't say I'm a diehard Star Trek, but I love Star Trek. Like I've watched it forever. Yeah. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think like the Lord of the Rings, your Avatar, your Final Fantasy, these are fantasy adjacent worlds. They blend with magic much better than some of the like. I mean, Ninja Turtles. I loved Ninja Turtles growing up, right?
Yeah.
We returned to New York before we returned to Kaldheim.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's
before Ikoria.
Yeah. And I think the biggest problem, I get trying to bring in these outside IPs for the sake of like sales or whatever. But I think what they're wasting is like Magic has infinite worlds. The multiverse, they can do whatever they want. They could just make things, right? And I feel like they're just laying that on the table for short-term gain. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's hard to argue. And then I guess all we get to do is just see how it goes, to see if like I don't know how Ninja Turtles is going to do. I have no idea. I have no idea how Star Trek's gonna do. I don't think anyone expected Spider-Man to be a absolute dumpster fire.
That's
So
fair.
maybe we'll just have to see how it goes. If somehow we get like consecutive dumpster fires, if The Hobbit comes out and they're like Lord of the Rings Part 2, this should be a guaranteed absolute knockout, and then who knows, maybe people are just not biting The Hobbit. I'm not that excited about The Hobbit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know. So I'm curious how it will go. But right now they're just like, you want more, right? We're gonna keep feeding you more and more
And
Ninja Turtles.
7 sets a year, and more than
Yeah,
half are out of the universe. Do you know? Have you heard of the format planar standard?
yeah, I heard about that last week.
I think it's
Actually,
super cool. Like it's only
yeah,
in Magic, which is awesome, but also the fact that it's because there's so many Magic sets. It's only 3 sets this year and 4 last year, which is kind of the cadence of what old standard was.
100%.
And so it's almost like we just get old standard as it was, and then we have these other weird sets I don't care about. Like that's fine.
It sounds nice because keeping up requires you to like have a lot of spare money. Like it's
Because this
to,
is what I
to
found
keep
was
up with.
standard anyway. Because I do
Yeah.
like 60 cards, 60 card formats. The last 2 standards in a row, I built a deck. I played it like 3 times, and then the new set came out, and it was gone. And I was like, I can't afford to do this.
No way. No. If I'm a commander player like through and through, I probably always will be. If I ever do decide to dabble in standard, I'm gonna try planar standard, like easy. Oh, there's less for me to like keep up with. It creates a better barrier of entry. It's more accessible. It's
Yeah,
which I'm all about it. More accessible Magic, just like straight out of the prof's mouth.
exactly. I think the only downside is that
Accessibility.
WotC could never support it officially.
Yes.
Because I
Right.
guess that they have contractual obligations attached to the IPs, like the outside IPs
Yeah.
that come in, right?
But
That's
maybe we
sad.
can, we saw Commander become the de facto behemoth that it is, and
Mhm.
that just started from the fans.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Modern as well. It started as a fan format.
really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Modern was just
That's so cool.
it came off the back of Extended. So yeah, I
We
mean,
have the power.
power to the people.
And of course, I'm referencing the He-Man universes beyond coming up.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just add 200 more cards. It'll be Spider-Man. I think would have been fine if it was a secret lair.
Yeah, or 4 commander decks. I think that was the
Yeah.
Fallout. I also had never played a single Fallout game in my entire life. Another example, like I did not fuck with Fallout. I never at any point fucked with Fallout. But then I got my hands on those precons and I was like, this slaps. This is really cool. And I don't know. That was a
Yeah,
try and shoot
and
formula.
this is that perfect, right? Where they can pull people both ways. They can pull people into Fallout and into Magic, and it's I think that delicate touch of not overwhelming people with it, right?
Yeah. Which they're doing. And I don't know, there's an undeniable like fatigue kind of like felt throughout the community, it feels like. So
Yeah, it's
you
actually
gotta pick and
crazy
choose.
how universal that feeling is,
Yeah.
Like, and it's really like everyone I talk to. And so you look at this schedule and you're like, who is this for? And the answer is that Magic's the only thing that makes Hasbro money. And
Oh man.
they're seeing these sales. Like I've thought about this for each one where it's like all of these things people buy Final Fantasy or Avatar or Spider-Man or Turtles coming up. People might buy the fuck out of it. And you know what those people will do when the next set comes out or the next thing that comes out? They will look to the next Final Fantasy or Avatar or Spider-Man or Turtles thing not the next Magic set. Or they'll look
Yeah.
at the next, when's the next Star Trek set? And they're like, there isn't one. This was the only one. It's like, oh. And then they leave.
Yeah.
And so if they're burning their core base and they have all those temporary people that aren't going to stick around, then what happens, right?
Yeah. I feel like no matter how much Hasbro fucks up and like does things that long term hurt the game, I've kind of got this hippie feeling inside of me. Like Magic's always gonna, no matter what they do, Magic can always be like ours. We have so much history of game pieces. We already have so much history of in-universe things that we can do. There's like, it's like a game system that can be, we could do anything we want with. And no matter what they do, we can still play it the way that like we want to play it.
This is really the beauty of it over, say, Hearthstone or something like that. It's like we have the physical cards, we can do whatever the fuck we want with it, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, for people who love, this is coming from a Commander player, for people who love to compete, who want to compete in official Wizards of the Coast's tournaments and like maybe even make a living or you know, make their money, who love to compete, they kind of don't have a choice. They gotta like, they're gonna sit across from and like have to look at all of these pieces, which sucks for them. But
it's true, but that's a whole different issue. Because so I have a lot of friends that play Magic professionally, and a lot of these people that are coming from like Pro Tour and much higher level are now a little bit more focused on Lorcana and Flesh and Blood.
Right.
Because they pay much better. They're supported much more by their companies or by the companies that make them. And Riftbound as well is coming up.
Yeah.
And so it's this like,
I like Riftbound.
I haven't played it yet, actually. I wanted to pick up a starter, but I was waiting for there's a second printing coming out because the first printings are crazy expensive already because it's just a low supply.
I say I like Riftbound, but I'm extremely biased because in Riftbound you can play Misfortune, and I got Misfortune on my body for all time. So there, you know, I want to point out that bias.
I will say I don't quite know about this, so it's a little bit speaking a little bit out of my experience. But I've heard that the gender balance in Riftbound competitive is somehow worse than Magic.
That sucks.
And I've heard some
like,
bad things,
surprised.
but I don't know about that personally.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. Riot Games has not been the best at cultivating a healthy community around their properties.
Yeah, from what I know about League, like if that's where we're starting here, like this is
right. Notorious. I hope that is like a release valve for the players who miss what Magic once was. Because even though I'm frolicking through the universes beyond, and I love The Walking Dead and I love Final Fantasy, they're valid too, and their frustration with the game, you know, is valid. Even though I don't have that frustration personally. So I don't know. Hopefully, like they sit down to play a game of Riftbound or Lorcana or Flesh and Blood, and they just like feel that release valve, and they're like, okay, this is what I was looking for.
Yeah, because I think a lot of this is like, so Magic hasn't had like a judge program for a while officially. Which actually they just hired a judge manager, which is not clear what they're gonna do. But maybe they're going to restart having a judge program. They haven't really, they had this big push for esports during COVID. And then after that, there hasn't been a lot of support for the Pro Tour and things like that. And so some of that is what has been, more so than the Universes Beyond side, is kind of what has been leading people into Lorcana. I mean, Lorcana's got Disney money, right? Lorcana pays judges well. I would hope so. Lorcana pays like prizes well, things like that.
Wow.
And like this is dragging people away from Magic.
Have you dabbled or are you locked in?
So I have a starter deck of Lorcana,
Mhm.
and they actually just released or the call for judges for an event that I think I'm gonna apply to judge
Cool.
in Lorcana. Because Lorcana is a lot like Magic. In fact, it's really, imagine if Magic had no interaction and no instant speed.
Sure.
That's kind of what Lorcana is. I'm oversimplifying it, but I've played a little bit to kind of learn the rules. Friends that have played a lot more have told me that it is like it is basically the people coming in from Magic have a huge advantage to the people that are just starting Lorcana, right? Like,
I've played like 4 games of Lorcana. It's been a long time, but I remember playing it and be like, oh, like Magic.
yeah. Actually, me and a different judge friend both got starter decks, and I don't get it. Like, I feel like they're very poorly balanced. This other, like, these are like the same set of starter decks. This other deck is so much more powerful. Like, it destroys me in every level, and it's just like, I don't understand. Like, imagine making like a handful of like 1/1s, and the other one's just making like 3 times the amount of like 4/4s, and you're just like, well, how am I supposed to like? How is any of this like balanced?
That sucks. You're like, I'm missing something here.
Yeah, like I'll play 2 games and like I'm done. Like I lost, but it's fine. It was fun. I'm done. I got it to learn the rules. I've learned the rules. It's fine.
Nice. I got a quiver like bolt kind of thing full of like, oh, I like to have like playable decks of so many card games, even though I don't play them. So I've got 2 One Piece decks that can go against each other,
Nice.
2 Universes decks that can go against each other, 2 Yu-Gi-Oh decks that can go against each other, 2 Pokemon decks that can go against each other. So
that's rad.
even I've got this, it's one of my little prized possessions. It's like my little dabble box. I'm like, I don't bring it out as much as I should, but 2 Lorcana decks are in there.
Very cool. I used to have a lot of these. Like, so when Magic started to get big in like the mid 90s, a lot of games came out and then failed. Because it was just kind of similar to what's happening now. Like a lot of like push. And so I had like recently used to have decks, like 2 rage decks, right? Like the Vampire the Masquerade, or the Werewolf, the Apocalypse game. I had 2 decks of Netrunner decks.
Nice.
This is like the old Wizards properties, like things like that. The old Star Trek set, or the old Star Trek game, I used to have a giant box until just recently. I finally just sold it because I never played it. And see, it's not like that was great. It was a Star Trek game. It was great.
Yeah.
I don't want Star Trek in my Magic, but the Star Trek game was wonderful. I loved it.
I've had this thought about Universes Beyond too. Just to go back a little bit. So many of these card games like tried. Star Trek tried. They're like, let's have a Star Trek card game. And it was a flash in the pan. And then it went away forever. And never has there been another Star Trek card game.
That's
Final
not true.
Fantasy
They
had its own
rebooted it, I think, twice. But you don't know about it, and that's a testament to how well it did.
Sure. They don't last. None of them last. I mean, some of them, sure, maybe. But like even Final Fantasy had its own card game. It didn't have staying power. It didn't like stick around. It didn't.
To be fair, I think actually Final Fantasy is still a card game. It's just only played in Japan, basically.
Right.
But yeah.
But Magic is like the best chance that playing Star Trek cardboard, like playing Star Trek playing cards, it's best chance to be something that lasts, that has some kind of staying power that you can play with other Star Trek fans. Like Magic is its best shot, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't think a Lord of the Rings card game would have maybe there probably was one.
There
right?
absolutely was. I'm thinking of it right now, but that's not the point. It didn't do well.
Right. But Lord of the Rings, someone's Lord of the Ring commander deck is being played every single day. So it also kind of gives these fandoms and these properties a chance to be something that they never would be otherwise. So I don't know. That's another thing that I think about with University.
I think one of the biggest problems when they were only doing it in Commander, because you could just choose to play it or not, I think that was better. Although additionally, it did kind of fuck up Vintage and Legacy a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But that doesn't matter because Wizards doesn't support them anyway.
Sure.
Absolutely love Vintage and Legacy, but that's not really, Wizards doesn't care. But when they made it so every set is standard, I feel like that really raised the bar, because for a while they said like not every set is for you, which is kind of an insult, but at the same time it's like, okay, fine. And now it's like, no, every set, you're required to interact with this if you want to play.
Yeah.
And I think that was really that change in attitude.
I have like my personal solution to this deluge of stuff that I will never be able to keep up with at this point. I kind of just don't play that game. I look at the sets coming out this year, and I'm extremely excited to crack open some Lorwyn because I love Lorwyn, and I'm biased enough to know that I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna love it. I just like that world. But the rest of the year, I'm pretty indifferent about. And so instead of kind of focusing on all that stuff that I'm not really going to be into, I'm going to go back to like Bloomburrow and Final Fantasy. It's like they're still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still so much love and craft and art and like beauty in Bloomburrow. And
Such a good set.
It's just like a conscious choice to just be like, well, no one can stop me from, everyone's talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Whatever. No one can stop me in the middle of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles season being like, talking about how excited I am about my Tifa deck. So I don't know. I'm just sort of trying to make this conscious decision to not play into that, to not just be like, well, it's Ninja Turtle season. Well, I don't care.
Yeah, but that's in like my world. I have to, right? And like anybody that's competitive adjacent, it's like needs to be involved with that. And I think
100%.
You mentioned Bloomburrow, and I think that's such a good example of it was a set, or it was a plane we had never been to before. It was brand new and it was incredible, right? And it was so well done. It was original, and it was in universe, and it was just amazing. Like they can do whatever they want. The world, they could literally do whatever they want.
I thought Edge of Eternities was I thought it was going to be weird. Like, that doesn't feel like Magic. Edge of Eternities, when it finally came out, I'm like, oh, this is fucking Magic. Like, this is Magic. And even though it was spaceships and whatever, it still, to me, felt...
Yeah, I think it was super well done. I think it was a really good set. I thought Edge of Eternities is a good example, I think, for the overstimulus of Universes Beyond, and not the set itself, but it's like we had when before Edge of Eternities was out, we had Spider-Man spoilers already coming, and then the start of Avatar spoilers. So like 2 sets forward, and it was like, man, you got to let this set breathe.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing, the pace of it, where it's like you don't let people, like, I always used to say, or more recently, but it's even gotten worse. But like Kaldheim came out, and then we moved on to Ikoria, I think was next. And even I had a complaint then when it was like, name one of the tribes or gods of Kaldheim, and no one knows
Right.
because we didn't stay there and get to learn it and get to hang out.
Yeah.
And even that was was not nearly the pace that we have now. And it's like, it just keeps moving faster. And it's like, if you can't really explore the depth of the lore and the depth of really the set itself, and maybe, yeah, the answer is just ignoring a set and going back and continuing to explore the depth, right?
I feel like it's like one of the only options. It's if you don't want to just end up in the deluge of keeping up. There's no keeping up.
Yeah, that's no longer an option.
We used to be able to keep up. We used to be able to like enjoy this thing and then let's all together move to the next one and enjoy this one and then move together.
Yeah.
It's just not. I don't know.
I used
It's quite a
to
change.
ignore spoilers completely because it didn't matter. I was going to open a box. Every set. Like it doesn't matter. I would much rather I would do like individual pack battles for the first couple packs to really like discover like these things, and then open a box and then do a bunch of drafts. I haven't opened a box in ages. I don't even think I opened packs.
Yeah.
I didn't open a single pack of Avatar. I opened 3 packs of Edge of Eternities because I was given them for Christmas. I opened 3 collector's boosters of Spider-Man because I was giving them for free.
Sure.
But like that's it, right? And it used to be such a no questions asked. Of course I'm opening a box, right? And that's what they're burning.
Every set.
Yeah. And that's what they're burning for this short time gain is they're losing these people. The people that stick around and buy things, right?
Yeah. What was your last every set?
I mean, I will say I always I have a wall of boxes that even to this day I'll get 1 box of each set. So starting,
cool. That's
I have
fun.
a sealed box of everything from Kaldheim up.
Nice.
But the last one I actually opened, I guess I opened Final Fantasy.
Cool.
Because I really am. I love Final Fantasy. I grew up with it, things like that. I still didn't like the idea of Final Fantasy in Magic. And didn't care about that, even as someone that loves Final Fantasy. But the set was incredible.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, the way to do it, right?
Do you have like an internal solution for yourself when it comes to this new ecosystem that is basically forced upon us as Magic players?
I've been more and more. I've been judging instead of playing.
Yeah.
Like I used to play. I still play a bit, but I used to play much more competitive Modern. Yeah. And nowadays, I find myself judging more, and I really enjoy it. I love judging, and I love being kind of organizationally deeper with these kind of tournaments. Because as well, like you were talking about some of your organizational stuff. I'm much more to I organized my own tournament series where proxies were allowed, and I organized the Planeswalkers in Pink, this Flinta organization, and our Magic team and things like this. So I really, that moment of something's missing, we organize it, right? But yeah, so getting deeper and more into the more organizational aspects of large tournaments is super cool, and I really enjoy that.
I love that. That's a great solution. Just less focus on the cards in the game and more focus on the gathering, as it were. Yeah. The people, the folks, no shade to anybody that loves any part of Magic as it comes forward now, right? But more and more, and it feels like it's not my world. Yeah, you're super, super not alone.
Yeah. But
as a Commander player,
plainer standard.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
No, and like you said, I think the Warhammer and the Fallout and the Doctor Who, I think those are really done right. I think that those are these aspects that are not necessarily like directly fantasy adjacent in the way that maybe Final Fantasy, like no notes Final Fantasy, like Lord of the Rings was great. Like I don't know how repeatable these things are, but they were really great sets, right? And I think putting out a 4-pack of decks at whatever theme for people that really want to play this in like different things in Final Fantasy, or sorry, in Magic, I think is a nice solution for everyone again, except Vintage and Legacy.
Right. Wow. Poor Vintage and Legacy players.
Yeah, well, you know, to be fair, they started getting messed up. I mean, aside from not being supported, that didn't help. But but also just by Wizards really switching over to designing for Commander in general, where things will really stick out and be just brutally strong in 2-player formats.
Yeah. I've never played Vintage or Legacy, but I think it was one of those formats where there was a human deck and The Walking Dead came out. And suddenly in one of these like old hardcore formats, you had to play Rick instead of Pass Leader.
And this was a big deal because the only place you could get Rick was from the Secret Lair. And it was a big deal because it was unique to only this one thing. And so if you needed it for Legacy, then you can't just buy packs. And that was the whole one of the big like problems with their Secret Lair in the first place, right? I think Ikoria did it right. The Godzilla cards.
Yep.
Really just like, and then you saw this a bit more, a lot in Lord of the Rings and some other things, but like when they had call it whatever you like, have the original title underneath, done. Yeah. We slap a theme on it, but have it within the universe and a card, and then everything is fine, right?
Yeah.
Like the cards.
It's gone so intensely in the other direction to where now, because they've set the expectation of mechanically unique, when they recently put out the Monster Hunter Secret Lair and it was only reprints, now we're so accustomed to mechanically unique that Monster Hunter Secret Lair felt like cheap. It was like, well, where's our mechanically unique cards? Like, why would I get this Monster Lair, Hunter Secret Lair full of reprints? And you look at the PlayStation Secret Lair and they get like Kratos, original card Kratos and all this stuff. It's just wild. They've gone in the other way.
I also expressly dislike the phrase PlayStation Secret Lair, but that is just, but that's just totally.
I'm part of the problem.
What are we even talking about here?
I excitedly and very enthusiastically made an Abby and Ellie deck from The Last of Us 2. It's one of my favorite decks. I'm so part of the problem.
Like, and it really does. I really am happy that people are able to play whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I think this big core is the forcing it down people's throat as opposed to giving people the opportunity to enjoy their properties, right?
Yeah. I'm extremely catered to, but I have a lot of friends who play Magic in very many different ways, so I feel a little bad. I'm like, sorry, I'm part of the problem, and I would like to mourn alongside you the game that once was that now isn't quite.
Well, they'll just play pre-DH and pre-modern and it'll be fine.
I want to make a pre-DH deck.
Well, make an unsleeved pre-DH deck we can play.
Hell yeah, you got it. Unsleeved, that's the key. I like it.
You can use proxies, but you got to print it on sticker paper to make it unsleeved.
You got it.
Oh man, have you seen so I have this cube that I built I mean, for what it's worth, just as a side note, I think we're basically done. We're just talking now.
Yeah,
Still
100%.
recording, but it doesn't matter. I'm enjoying this. I built a cube of gamma cards.
Okay, I
Like-
saw that recently. Yes, but you at first I was like, no fucking chance. Those are actual like gamma. And then I saw what they were stickered on top, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, well, gamma cards like a planes cost $5,000, right?
Yep.
Like this is,
Right.
but of course, in order to, it had to be sleeveless. Like you can't do it otherwise.
Right.
But so this is a cube that I have, and like it's draftable. Like we've kind of tried to balance it because gamma was never draftable, right? So we kind of like we tried to balance it, and it's super fun.
That's so fucking cool.
Like you play the game, and like there's 5 of every common in the cube. But it's worth noting, like Ancestral Recall is common. Time Walk is common. Starburst, which is just red Time Walk, is common. There's 3 2-mana land destruction spells that are all common.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, it's crazy looking at modern Magic, but at the same time you play it and it works. Like you can see why these cards existed as they did in Gamma and why they existed in Alpha. Like in this part of the game, right? And I think that's super cool to be able to, like, I love what Magic is, despite Universes Beyond, despite whatever. Like it's very cool of what it has turned into. But playing Gamma, like it really feels like it feels like this very old school game. And it's kind of interesting.
Play your Gamma Cube.
Well, I'll bring it to MagicCon Amsterdam.
Damn, I gotta get a passport. All right, I gotta go. No, you know what?
To be fair, you should probably have a passport anyways.
100%. Yep, it's getting a little fash out here. So
yeah. Ooh.
Gamma had rarities.
Yeah, I mean Gamma has. Did it have rarities?
That's what I'm curious. You said they were common.
Yeah,
so
I guess.
They must have,
So,
right?
but because we made, I guess it did have rarities because we made this cube. Like we found the cards and it had to make this cube, and so we kind of had to build. But they had rarities as well, because the original world of Magic, like Richard Garfield assumed people would buy like a starter and a couple of boosters.
Right.
And there was no list of what cards were in Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that balance didn't matter as much because people would just, like, you playing and someone would play a card and you're like, oh my God, what is this? And people would have never seen this before, which is ridiculous with this small card pool of what retrospectively Gamma or Alpha are, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you would just, it was pre-internet. There was no list of all the cards. There was no, like, you didn't know it was out there. And I think that's a cool way to look at it. And this is also, you can see that kind of idea and that concept is kind of what he tried to do in, what was it called? Keystone? Key something?
Stoneforge? Key Rune? No, I vaguely know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There was it's basically it's a game that every deck is generated. So you can't trade stuff between between decks, but also you kind of get what you get.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of cool idea, and it was built as a return to this original Magic idea where people would just have this and you would see whatever. And of course, people started realizing like which decks, like which UPCs contained good decks or bad decks because they're generated, and so they would look and try to figure out what deck was it before they were buying it, because humans, right?
Yeah, right. Hold it up, just if you hold it up and you get the thing.
Yeah, that's the proper old school packs, right?
That's interesting. I feel like the only way to like really get that feeling these days is to literally be a kid who actually just doesn't know, doesn't see spoilers, and then plays the game, and then their friend comes over and they're like, what do you got there?
Yeah. Or a kid
But
that's
that does
given a box of draft chaff, right?
right. But I feel like that's doesn't happen as an adult. But maybe it does. Maybe I don't know. There's so much coming out.
Yeah, maybe that's the point. It's just gonna be so much product that it would be impossible for me to keep up.
That's interesting. You know, my friend did whip out a Kratos deck, and I was just like, he does what now? What's going on over there? You know, there was a tiny little bit of hint to that, actually, because there was so much that I didn't know what Kratos did. I didn't keep up.
Yeah. I mean, I even felt this a little bit today when we played earlier, or yesterday, or that was today, whatever, it doesn't matter. Time. This board wipe, right? And this board wipe was is from the Final Fantasy scene boxes.
Yeah.
And it was just a table of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yes. I literally was like, what the hell is that? What is happening right now? What are you, you're doing what? I don't know. Maybe that's some modicum of upside to this deluge of fucking nonsense. If you literally can't keep up, then sometimes you do get that little old school experience of like, whoa, where'd you get that? You know?
It doesn't feel like a good trade-off. Sacrificing the game for occasional surprise. But yeah, it is kind of cool.
I'm reaching
to see
desperately
cards.
for a silver lining.
Like, it is cool to see cards that you don't know, especially if it's not just like, oh, I've never seen that draft common, but really some like impactfully like, holy shit, what is that? Right? It's kind of cool.
That was sick play though. That was a really cool play.
Try to talk Hana into blocking. Like, just block. I promise you.
That was so good. It's the only way to save it. I was like, what is going on? Exactly. I truly had no fucking clue.
Let's do an outro. Let's just do an outro at the very least. Stop the recording at the very least. Let's instead of just trailing this off. So awesome. Thanks for joining me, Bobbie.
It's yes. It's been
excellent talking to you. Yeah.
Thanks for yapping magic with me.
For sure. Is there anything you would like to plug? Like, what are your projects? What are you doing now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anyone out there is gonna be at MagicCon Vegas, come hang out with me at Magikids. If you bring along someone who doesn't know how to play, I'm an excellent teacher. I'll get them into the game for you. And I'll also be with Magikids at Shoebox in March. So those are the big two things I got happening for me right now. And otherwise, I'll just be playing lots of Commander with all the people I love to play Commander with.
Sweet.
This was lovely.
Thanks for joining.